What's up, guys? Mike Lewis here, and welcome to the Mike Lewis podcast. If you guys want to keep up with me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram at Mike Lewis Official, and you can follow me on Twitter at MikeLew52. It's where most of my updates come. If you're enjoying my content, give me a like and a subscribe. And without further ado, let's just dive right into this episode. Okay, Katrina, thanks for hopping on here and taking the time. How are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Believe it or not, you've been quite the hot commodity lately. Everyone's like, where's Katrina? Get her on here. So believe it or not, I mean, people are eager to hear from you.
Well, I mean, you hunted me down. You got me here. And I was still late, right?
Yeah, it's all right.
I know. I'm always late.
Yeah.
I'm always late or either on time. There's no in between. I'm still figuring out which one I like. No, actually, I'm always late or I'm either early. I'm never on time. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that you use no in between though. That's like
yeah, no, I'm still figuring it out. I'm like, do I want to show up on time? No.
No in between's like a staple of like my vocabulary right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So how you been with the whole past year? Like, what have you been up to in general? I see from following you, you got a lot of horses from what I could tell. Is that you're into horse riding?
Well, I have a farm. I just recently moved out to my new house like 2 months ago. And I sold my other house. And so I moved like a street over from my farm. So yeah, but I'm a big horse girl. I have a lot of animals. I have like over 50 by myself. Yeah.
Well, what's like the, aside from horses, how many, different variations of animals have you had?
Okay, so I have two cats. Well, I have one mini zebu. My neighbor got a mini zebu, so like we both share taking care of like the bulls. We're actually looking to get like a herd of them, mini zebus, so we can just have babies because it's fun. I have goats. We have a donkey. I have a bunch of horses. I just bought one actually last week. I have 4 dogs, 3 cats, chickens, ducks. Literally, you name it, I probably have it or I've had it.
Wow. Yeah, and I think you have like a YouTube channel too, right? Where you
document. I do. So I kind of like I just I took a break a little bit because I was moving, and it's been so much work moving. So I just started posting. I actually posted today. Funny enough that you say that.
Wow. Yeah, I did see that. It was 2 hours ago you posted something. So I can plug that.
Consistency. Consistency. Yeah. Mhm.
Were you hopping on the whole podcast thing too? Because I think in your bio you had something like that, right?
So yeah, I'm thinking about it. Like I still have Drunk on a Plane podcast. So me and one of my good girlfriends, we travel all the time together, and we just have so many funny stories. So I'm like, she's like, let's do a podcast, and people love to hear our stories. And literally, like you can't make up the things that happen to us. And whenever we're on trips, it's just hilarious, and it's all of our girlfriends, and yeah. So Drunk on a Plane podcast coming soon. If I ever get time.
Yeah. So I take it that's your thing then, drunk on the plane.
Drunk on the plane, yeah. Why not, right?
What were you up to prior to Real World though? Were you in college? Like what were you doing?
So I had moved up to Gainesville, and I was in Gainesville for about 8 months, and then I was just literally like buying properties and flipping them with my father. And I was in school. I graduated. I'm done with school. I can't stand it. Maybe I'll go back to become a vet, but I'm still thinking about it. I could do pretty much anything a vet can do. So equine vet wise, that's like the perks of having horses, I guess. It teaches you. But yeah, I was just being, I was 24 years old. That's so long ago. Oh, I was such a baby.
Did you have aspirations for getting onto TV? Like, what made you want to try out?
Honestly, I went down to Orlando to go see a horse, believe it or not. And we saw, like, the Real World casting. So I was just like, let's go into it. And we literally walked into the room, and there was no AC. And I was like, there's no way I'm, like, waiting here. And the lady gave me a slip, and I remember my number was 441. And I grew up on 441 in Parkland. It was, like, the main highway. And I was like, And then I started to walk out, and she's like, ma'am, you, the tall girl. And I was like, huh? And then she's like, come back here. And then she put me in the interview. And the next day they stayed there. They had me go for casting, and it was just like I pretty much knew I had it set in stone.
Yeah, because I actually did have your sister on a week and a half ago, and she actually said that you were, I'm pretty sure, the first person picked out of that cast. That's like shoo-in to be on.
I mean, why wouldn't they pick me, right?
How many interviews did you go on, or was it like really fast tracked for you?
I mean, I knew I had it right away. Like they weren't messing around. They kind of like gave you like, if you walk in it with it, like you own it, then you pretty much have it. That's the way I think about things. So, but yeah, I knew I had it. And the interview process, it was like long, but I mean, you just make the best of it.
Were you stoked finding out that you're going to Seattle, or were you hoping for something else?
Oh, I love Seattle. Seattle's one of my favorite places. We'd go to there when we were younger for family vacations. So I was very excited. Like I love the weather during the summer. Wintertime can kind of be like, eh. But yeah, I was very excited. Seattle was so much fun. I love that city.
Was the nightlife good?
Oh my gosh, so much fun. So much fun. And the guys there are so good looking too.
I was kind of curious, because obviously the twist, they're obviously bringing people in. A lot of people have like a mixed bag of an opinion on it because, in some regards, when 14 cast members in a house, there's a lot of moving parts. So some stories might get more attention than others. Were you kind of did that leave somewhat of a salty taste in your mouth? The whole twist kind of, this is supposed to be like your experience. It's 7 people, and then obviously you had someone of yours brought in, but did that leave any sour taste in your mouth at all?
I mean, we all knew in the house that there was like something going to happen, because look at the past prior seasons to us. We knew something was going to happen, and we all kind of like talked about like the interview process, and like just the questions were just, bam, bam, bam. Like, who do you have bad blood with? And I feel like I came up with the name Bad Blood because if you watch the season and every episode, it's like there's so much bad blood. And literally, I called it how I saw it. I was like, there's so much bad blood. Oh my gosh. Like,
well, I'm pretty sure like the theme was, tailor made for like you and your sister because, from speaking to her, I mean, the tagline Bad blood, you two being obviously family, and then you had Theo and Cass who were also cousins too. I'm pretty sure initially I'm positive that it was supposed to be family members with and then they just ended up branching out and going with like friends and other people that had problems. But I definitely think like, and a lot of people would probably agree with me on this one, that as far as like stories go, I mean, it doesn't get any more clear cut and dry like which ones are the center focus of the season. I mean, you and your sister, and we're seeing family members play out on TV, So I'm going to ask you, what did you feel like you and Katrina, my bad, you and Anna, it's Bad Blood, like why do you feel like you guys at that point were, Bad Blood? Like where did that, stem from?
I mean, we're sisters, so sisters obviously have arguments, but like they were like wanted. I felt like they really wanted an ex with me because they really interviewed my ex a lot. And then he's like, oh, I can't, like he couldn't go on there because he had a girlfriend. So he was like, I felt like he was the main pick. And then they went from my best friend and my best friend, my ex-best friend wouldn't answer them. And then my sister. I felt like they just really liked my character and wanted something because unfortunately I had bad blood with my ex because we broke up, and then my best friend. So we had that, and then my sister, and I was so far in the interview process that I don't know. I mean, there's so many twists and turns, who knows? But I mean, family always argues. Like, you fight with people that you love the most. It's unfortunate, but it happens.
And, she actually did say that you and her aren't on speaking terms at the moment. Is that correct?
I mean, I thought it was funny because you reached out to me for so long, like a couple months. Well, I think it's how long ago did you reach out to me? And I just didn't like reply back. And I was like, oh God, you reached out to my sister to probably put me on here. I haven't even listened to her podcast though, because I just don't have time, but we're just sisters. We're completely opposite. So.
Right. I'm curious, like, did you feel like during that process, like, you made more of an effort to, maybe mend yours and hers relationship, like, on the show? Because it seemed like for a bit, you guys were kind of off doing your own thing, and the rest of the house, obviously, they had their own stuff going on. Do you feel like that was the case?
I mean, I was just like, my sister's there, like, let's make the best of it. Because, I mean, think about it. There's no better, situation than rather having your family there. That's always going to have your back. And you could party with them. They know you best. But me and my sister weren't talking. Well, like, we started speaking right before I went on the show. And then, like, when she got there, our relationship was, like, you can see if you've watched the season that we were talking. And I don't know. It was, days went by so slow, but so fast there. So, like, they dragged out, like, the Peter relationship for so much longer. And if you see, like, the episodes, it's like outfit change, like, they just would, like, switch back. And, like, it was, like, 2 days of her being with Peter. And Peter was just a bad seed. Oh, he was so awful to be around. But that's it. That's all I'm saying about Peter, because I just don't get, like, ugh.
I was going to ask, because it seemed like, you kind of, out of everybody, seemed to notice first his, I guess you could call it, bit of outburst.
No, he's just crazy. Like, literally a psychopath. Like, scary. And I mean, I called it out because I saw it right away. And then, like, someone to attack me in the house that quick, like, they never showed that. It was just so weird. Like, Peter's a weirdo. I mean, we're all weirdos, but, like, Peter's, like, a special kind of weirdo.
Do you feel like the editing didn't even do it justice, is what you're saying?
I mean, it's reality TV, and obviously they don't, it is real life. Like, everything that we're doing, like, they don't tell us to say anything. I mean, we're pretty much like a scientific study. Imagine putting, 14 people in a house, and we have to ask to do things. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot on, like, anyone, like, having permission to do anything. I mean, they were very lenient, granted, but still. It's just a lot. It's like a scientific study. I mean, it's great. It's reality TV. Everyone loves it.
Were you okay with how you were portrayed on the show, or do you feel like stuff was maybe left out, or?
I mean, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care what anyone thinks about me. So, and anyone that knows me, I've had, like, really long relationships with, and I tell everyone, I'm like, it's very rare if someone dislikes me, and if they do, I'm like, you're going to learn to love me. Like, you'll end up loving me. So, like, let's get past this. But
yeah, I was curious, like, who do you feel like maybe outside of that environment, like, you would have gravitated towards the most? Do you feel like you could have been friends with anybody in that environment? Like, say if you just met them on the street?
Okay, so I love Theo. If you want me to go down the roommates, I can tell you. I love Theo. Theo's awesome. I hang out with him any day of the week. He's super cool. Robbie, nice guy. Probably wouldn't hang out with him. Like, I'm nice to everyone that I meet, but there's people that I hang out with. I'd hang out with Jordan, Anika, T, Lana's cool. Love Kim. Mike is super cool and funny. I love Mike. Mike is awesome, hands down. We had a really good relationship until my sister and him came on, or until my sister came on the show. But I feel like Peter had put things in everyone's head to automatically judge Mike. But Mike is just super cool guy, like, really good guy. Who else is there? Will is awesome. I love Will. I love Cass. Am I missing anyone? Jen's a sweet girl. Jen, if she didn't get caught up with Peter, that's fine. Peter, absolutely not. He was just so annoying. He's like one of those guys you look and you're like, ugh. Like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that Google search, we'll come back to that. Did you think, like, you and your sister were, like, legitimately trying to, help out, like, Jen, and, like, she just took it the wrong way, or?
I mean, my sister took that upon herself. I would never do that because
Yeah.
I don't really care. I'm not that invested in someone else's life.
Mm-hmm.
I think my sister was doing that to start drama. Like, come on. It's easy to click out of a computer. Like, but Anna's good at what she does. Anna's really good at it. And Anna got it,
Yeah.
Like, and then look, she left me alone to take over her battles. And that's usually how it goes. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So she actually said that you and her were going to be on the Bloodline season from the challenge, and I think a lot of people watching this are going to be, curious to hear about this take too, because most people thought that like you were pretty much going to be a shoo-in for the challenge. I mean, were there any other close calls, or was it just that one?
I mean, I've been auditioned for a lot of things and asked to do things, but like you have to remember, I have 40 acres and I own 9 horses personally, and I have a farm. Um, and the only way I would go is if I was competing for a lot of money to take me away to be able to like make sure everything's set up. I have 4 dogs, literally 2 are sitting right here next to me, the other 2 outside. I have a lot going on. So the only way to get me away from here is to be able to compete for a lot of money because I know I'll win it.
So at that point in time, were you, game for it though?
I mean, yeah. But there's just still things like, I mean, I'm sure we'll, like everyone gets called for it and goes through the process and we'll see. I mean, you never
Yeah.
know.
Were there any other shows that you were called for, like outside of, the challenge in real world?
Like WWE. What else?
You got called for WWE?
My sister and I did. Like they like put us through like a little bit of an interview casting, and like they were doing that. We had to like go do that. What else? There was another show I was doing that they had cast me for, but I couldn't do it because there was like something going on. I can't remember which one it was. But I mean, you have to think about it. Once people go on reality TV, they are always like put in folders where like they go back to them. So
Wow, that's interesting. You had interest in WWE, or was that just, them wanting you?
I mean, I'm 5'11". I'm stronger than most guys, so sounds crazy. And I'm tall and like lanky, but very fast. And I would say my weakness could be puzzles. Like that's
Oh,
it.
did you did you watch the challenge at all? Like, or were you a fan of it? Or was that not really your cup of tea?
I mean, the challenge is cool. Like I don't really watch TV though.
Yeah, I mean, neither do I. But
I know it's so bad. I'm like, I don't watch. I pay for cable. I have Netflix, Hulu. Everyone has my accounts. Like literally, everyone has on my Netflix and Hulu. I'm paying for it for everyone else besides me. And I have TVs all around my house, and I just never watch TV. I mean, I have so much to do. If I could show you my view I'm looking at right now, it's beautiful. Like all my horses, and that's why I do YouTube, so people can enjoy what I actually live. Like,
yeah. Did you? Because obviously, in some people's cases, like post show, their experience could be a little like, in some cases traumatic, I guess you could say for them. Or they go through some things, mentally. Did you experience anything like that post show? Any like type of withdrawal or?
I mean, no, it was like weird because people automatically thought they knew you, right? Like they would watch an episode or the weekly episodes, and like I was a fan favorite, then I was like hated. And so people thought they like knew me and they automatically hated me. And I'm like, oh, it's crazy. I was like, y'all don't even know me. And they're like, you're evil. I'm like, whatever. Like, okay.
Well, I mean, you kind of strike me as someone that could drown out, any hate and negativity from fans. Did you go through that a lot, or?
No, I mean, honestly, it didn't bother me. Like, literally, I'm not good at like, I don't like verbal altercations. I'm more of like a, sounds bad, like physical person, but I like don't even like to get to that point. But yeah, I'm just not good at arguing.
Uh-oh.
I usually back down. I'm like, okay, like words hurt and words are powerful. So I don't like to like hurt people with words. And I wouldn't even want to hurt someone like fighting them because I have too much to lose.
Well, I
So I
mean,
just
they would have a lot to lose too if they had to fight you, I feel like.
yeah, I'm Russian too. So Russians, you know them.
You grew up in Russia?
No, I'm just saying my father's side is very Russian and very protective. So people can say I'm a daddy's girl, but yeah, if someone messes with me, who do you call? Your parents. And absolutely, my father will do anything for me. And my mom too. My mom and my sister. Like I have the greatest family when it comes to them having my back and like always defending me. And we're always there. No matter if like we're not getting along or not, we always have each other's back. And that's what family does, right?
Yeah. Yeah, didn't your mom visit you and Anna on the show?
Mm-hmm.
Did she enjoy the Seattle experience?
Yeah, but my mom travels all the time. So, but yeah, it was good. I think they portrayed the relationship a little bit different. Um, but I mean, it's reality TV. They got what they wanted. They did good. And I mean, my mom and I were closer at the time.
Yeah, I kind of want to bounce back to the point about Mike because I was actually rewatching that before. Do you feel like had the bad bloods not come into the house, like you and him's relationship would have been even more clean than what it actually turned into?
Yeah, I mean, we're just friends. Like, I'm just not a person. Like, we are friends, and like, I think we would have grown friendship wise, absolutely stronger, and with everyone there. Um, Everyone thought that it was like weird that I like, you know, got when like my sister came to the house. I distanced myself. That's my sister. Like, of course I'm gonna distance myself. Like, she's fun. We like to party. We like to have fun. And some of the roommates didn't want to go out to the places we wanted to go to, which is cool. But I'm not gonna follow in someone else's tracks of like doing things that I don't want to do when I have the opportunity to do something else.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of, when I'm pretty sure during that one incident where he said, when she came into the house and then like, you're siding with her now. I was like, I mean, at the end of the day, like you guys are family. Like, what do you expect's gonna happen?
I mean, I think he was just like, I mean, wouldn't you rather have your sibling with you than Peter? Anyone would have rathered that. Like, he had the worst one to have. Peter was so awful towards Mike too. Like, he portrayed Mike as his bad. Mike is nothing what Peter described him to be. So Mike is super cool. I love Mike.
Was there anything post show with Peter and any of you guys, like, or no?
I mean, I don't really use social media to attack people. I'm sure, you know, I guess there was like we'd go back and forth. Like, I made, see what happens with like called Peter Pan. Like, what's the big deal? You got called Peter Pan. I make nicknames for everyone. And then my best friend was like, she's so good at tweeting. I'm like, take over my Twitter. Like, you know me. Like, say it. But yeah, it was so long ago too. We're talking like years ago.
Yeah, like 5 years out.
Crazy.
So, how much from that point in time to now do you feel like you've grown? Has it been a lot, or do you feel like nothing's changed?
Oh my gosh, at 24 years old, it's so different from I'm 29. Oh my gosh, it sounds so old. Yeah, like 24 to 29, it's just crazy. And all the responsibilities I have now versus then, I mean, I had horses and stuff, but like not what I have now. So it's a lot. Yeah. At 24 years old, I tell everyone, I'm like, you guys have no idea. Like, that you don't even know who you are at that age. And like still at 29, I'm like, where am I going? Like, what am I doing? Everyone's like, all my friends are married and all that stuff, or having kids or engaged, or, I'm like, I've never loved a man enough to ever want to get married to him forever. So.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And yeah, you and Kayla actually knew each other, right? Like growing up, before both of you guys went on the real world. How long does that go back?
I mean, it's just like partying. We were what? I went to Locke's parties when I started. It was Loxahatchee parties. Like, they threw the biggest parties there. And I had to be 14 years old because I was dating a guy, Nick, and he would come pick me up in Parkland and take me to Locke's parties.
Wow. So you guys talk about getting onto the real world before it actually ended up happening?
No.
No?
No. Yeah. I told her, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going on the real world. She's like, oh, I can help you with everything. Da, da, da. And she gave me advice that I was just like, all right. And I didn't use it. And now I know the advice she gave me, I should have used it because you don't think of those things to do. Like, you don't, she's like, write in a journal, do this, do that. And like, gave me all this advice. And I was like, I don't have time to write in a journal because everyone was so snoopy in the house too. Everyone went through everyone's stuff. So annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'd be able to adjust living with strangers.
Oh yeah. Gosh, it was gross. I could never cook at the house and like, ew. No one did dishes. It was so dirty. And that floor was like nothing but Splinterville. And like people would pee in the shower. Ugh, it was so gross. Yeah.
So for the people watching, to give them any, hope that we could potentially see you in the future if given the call, if like, Bunim and Murray were to ring you tomorrow and say, Katrina, we want you on a future challenge. Here's the layout. This is what you'd be getting. Like, would you consider it?
No, just kidding. Maybe I would. I mean, it depends. Honestly, it's all about, like, I'm sure they would have a twist to it. But like I said, I have a farm. I live like the most amazing life. But if I was competing for money, yeah, of course not. Or of course, why not? That's what I meant to say.
You think you do well?
I mean, yeah. course.
When
Yeah.
you have that confidence, right?
Would you bet your money on me?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for hopping on here today. I'll let you go. I know you're busy. So it was good speaking with you, though, and I appreciate you giving me your time today.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right,
I'll
take
talk
care.
to you later. Bye.
Bye.